you will probably literally, like, people will cry if they knew the truth. Like, literally cry. Like, cry. Cry.
Y'all, this isn't just messy. This is the kind of story that leaves people speechless. Because what's being alleged right now about Remy Ma, Papoose, and Claressa Shields isn't your typical cheating drama. This feels darker, deeper, and way more disturbing. Sources are now claiming that behind the perfect posts and forced smiles, there was a secret so explosive it could destroy everything. We're talking about a pregnancy, a hidden truth, and a decision that allegedly changed lives forever. Because according to what's being whispered, the real shock didn't come from the pregnancy itself. It came from what was discovered after. And the moment that truth hit, that's when everything spiraled. Allegedly, a confrontation happened behind closed doors. No cameras, no filters, just raw emotion and a choice that no one should ever have to make. And what's being said about that ultimatum? It's chilling. Me or the baby. Let that sink in. And if that wasn't enough, now there are claims that proof exists, real receipts, the kind that don't just start rumors, they end reputations. What makes this even more unsettling? The silence. No clear denial. No full shutdown. Just tension and questions getting louder by the second. So now people are asking, what really happened in that room? Because if even a fraction of this is true, then this isn't just a scandal. This is a tragedy.
I even smelt my cat, boy. I never even sneezed on this. And he up here talking about some, I ain't want to have to expose you, Claressa. What? How do you recognize a weirdo? Somebody you don't know coming around you 24/7 doing this. Yeah, you all in the back. He got his phone, flip the camera. Oh yeah, look who I'm with. Yeah, look where I'm at. This man been doing that since the first day I met him. And I feel like I was targeted. This dude came up to me.
Y'all, the deeper you go into the story, the darker it gets. Because what started as quiet whispers about Claressa Shields possibly being pregnant has now spiraled into something far more disturbing. Something people behind the scenes are allegedly calling a complete emotional breakdown disguised as a relationship. At first, it looked simple. Fans noticed subtle changes, the energy, the way she was moving, the sudden need to prove loyalty at every turn, the over-the-top affection, the constant defending. It felt forced, almost like she was trying to stay ahead of a truth she knew could explode at any moment. Then came the rumors. And not just any rumors, but ones that tied directly into betrayal. Because while the public was busy debating whether she was pregnant or not, insiders were allegedly already talking about something much bigger, that the timeline didn't add up, that something about the situation felt off, calculated, hidden. And then everything shifted. According to claims now being pushed into the spotlight by Remy Ma, the real issue wasn't just the pregnancy, it was what came with it. Allegedly, when Papoose found out, the reaction wasn't joy, it was suspicion. Silence. Then confrontation. Because the whispers say that in that moment, something didn't sit right with him. The timing, the circumstances, the energy. And when questions started getting asked, the answers didn't line up.
Year. We already have it planned out. I'm gonna have a baby next year. And then after I go through my stuff, then I'll come back and fight some more, and then probably have another one and then do the same thing again. Like, I don't want to wait till I'm 40, 43, whatever, after my career to have my kids. Right. I want to be able to run at the park with my kids and stuff like that. I don't want to be too...
That's when the story takes a turn no one was ready for. Multiple sources now claim that what was uncovered behind closed doors wasn't just uncomfortable, it was devastating. Allegedly, the possibility emerged that the child wasn't even his. And just like that, everything changed. Because this wasn't just about love anymore. This was about humiliation, image, control. What happens when a man who's already being questioned in the public eye suddenly finds himself at the center of a situation that could completely break him? According to what's now being suggested, that's when things escalated fast. We're talking about a private conversation that allegedly turned into an emotional standoff, a moment where everything came down to one brutal choice. Stay and erase what just happened. Or walk away and let the truth destroy everything. Sources claim that the pressure in that moment was unbearable, that voices were raised, that emotions crossed lines they could never come back from. And in the middle of it all, Claressa was left facing a decision that would follow her for the rest of her life. Because allegedly, she chose him. And what came after that choice? That's the part people can't stop talking about. Suddenly, the same woman who had been openly dreaming about motherhood went quiet. The same energy that once felt hopeful now felt desperate, controlled, almost like she was holding something in, something heavy. And the public noticed. The birthday gestures, the music, the constant need to show love louder than ever before. It didn't feel organic anymore. It felt like damage control. Like someone trying to prove a relationship was still alive, even if something inside it had already died. And hovering over all of this? Remy Ma. Because she's not just watching from the sidelines, she's speaking, hinting, dropping pieces of a story that's too specific to ignore. She's implying that she knows exactly what happened, that there are receipts. And if those receipts ever fully surface, this entire situation could go from rumor to irreversible. Because at this point, it's not just about who cheated. It's about what someone was willing to sacrifice to keep a relationship from collapsing in front of the world. And the scariest part? We still don't know the full story. Not yet.
You probably literally, like, people will cry if they knew the truth. Like, literally cry. Like, cry. I look at it now and I feel sorry for old girl. Like, I feel sorry for her.
But if you thought that was the lowest point, this is where it gets even darker. Because once Remy Ma started speaking, this stopped being quiet speculation and turned into something calculated, almost like she had been waiting for the perfect moment to drop everything. And the way she's been moving? It's not random. It's targeted. She isn't just throwing shade, she's painting a picture. Piece by piece. Hint by hint. And according to people watching closely, every detail she's dropped lines up a little too perfectly with what fans had already been questioning. Especially when it comes to Papoose. Because for years, his image has been built on loyalty, stability, the good guy narrative, the one who held it down no matter what. But now, that image is being tested in a way nobody expected. Because if these allegations are even partially true, then this isn't just about what happened between him and Claressa Shields. It's about control, about power, about what someone does when their pride is on the line and the truth threatens to expose everything. Sources claim that behind closed doors, this wasn't a calm discussion. It wasn't mutual. It wasn't understanding. It was pressure. Emotional, relentless pressure.
So why don't you tell your current come up? So that's what it is. Tell your current come up. Don't say nothing about me. Maybe not even say nothing about you until shit is what it is. I'm in here on my TVs. You know, me and my daughter, we have the same name. She looks at everything. I'm in here putting certain things in so that when
the kind that builds slowly, then explodes all at once. And if the rumors are accurate, that ultimatum, me or the baby, wasn't just words. It was a line drawn in the sand. Because think about it. A woman who publicly talked about wanting children, suddenly stepping back, going quiet, acting different, overcompensating in ways that felt unnatural. That doesn't just happen for no reason. And fans are starting to connect those dots. But here's where things take an even more uncomfortable turn. Because Remy Ma didn't stop at the pregnancy. She allegedly started exposing the dynamic itself. The imbalance. The dependency. There have been whispers for a while now that Papoose hasn't exactly been standing on his own financially. That behind the scenes, Claressa has been the one holding things down. Supporting. Providing. And if that's true, then this situation becomes even more complicated. Because now it's not just emotional pressure. It's leverage. And according to what's being implied, that leverage may be the exact reason why this relationship didn't fall apart the moment everything came to light. Because walking away would mean more than just heartbreak. It would mean exposure, embarrassment, a complete collapse of the image both of them have been trying to maintain. So instead, things stayed quiet. On the surface, everything looked normal. But underneath? Tension, resentment, unspoken truths that neither of them could fully address without risking everything. And then came the leaks. Messages allegedly showing Claressa Shields asking for the bare minimum: attention, time, basic affection. Words that didn't sound like a woman in a secure relationship, but like someone begging to be seen, heard, valued. And that changes everything. Because now the narrative isn't just about betrayal. It's about imbalance. About one person fighting to hold on, while the other decides how much of themselves they're willing to give. Of course, Claressa didn't stay silent. She pushed back, denied everything, accused Remy of fabricating texts, stirring chaos, chasing attention. And on the surface, that reaction makes sense. Because if someone was putting your private life on blast like that, you'd fight back too. But here's the problem. The noise didn't stop. If anything, it got louder. Because Remy Ma kept talking, kept hinting, kept suggesting that what she knows goes far beyond what's already been said. And now, people are starting to ask a question that no one can ignore anymore. If none of this is true, then why does it all feel so real? Why hasn't there been a clear, undeniable shutdown? Why does the silence feel heavier than the accusations? Because in situations like this, it's not always what's said that exposes the truth. Sometimes, it's everything that isn't. And just when it seemed like the story couldn't get any heavier, the silence started speaking louder than anything else. Because at this point, it's not just about what Remy Ma is saying, it's about what Claressa Shields and Papoose aren't saying. No full denial. No detailed explanation. No attempt to shut it all down completely. Just fragments. Carefully worded responses, deflection, and attention that feels impossible to ignore. Because when a story reaches this level, people don't just listen anymore. They start analyzing. Every post, every caption, every appearance. And lately, everything feels off. Fans have pointed out how Claressa's energy has shifted again, not just desperate, but drained. Like someone carrying something heavy behind the scenes while trying to maintain control in public. The smiles don't hit the same. The confidence feels forced. And the constant need to prove that everything is fine, it's starting to feel like a performance. And then there's Papoose. A man who built his entire image on loyalty, now standing in the middle of one of the most uncomfortable narratives of his career. Because if he speaks, he risks confirming parts of the story. And if he stays silent, people assume the worst. That's the trap. And right now, it looks like he's stuck in it. Meanwhile, Remy Ma is still watching, still talking, still dropping just enough to keep the pressure building. Not everything at once, just pieces. Calculated. Almost like she knows exactly how far to go without saying too much. And that's what makes this even more dangerous. Because the more she hints, the more the public fills in the blanks. And those blanks? They're getting darker by the day. Now people are questioning everything. Was the relationship ever real, or was it built on convenience? Was there genuine love, or just dependency disguised as loyalty? And most importantly, what really happened in that moment when everything changed? Because if the rumors are true, then this wasn't just a private decision. It was a breaking point. A moment where emotion, pressure, and fear collided and forced a choice that can't be undone. And the aftermath of that choice? You can see it. In the distance between them. In the tension that leaks through even the smallest interactions. In the way everything feels like it's being held together, instead of actually being whole. But here's where it gets even more unsettling. Because insiders are now suggesting that what we've heard so far might only be the surface. That there are still details that haven't come out yet. More messages. More context. More truth. And if those pieces ever fully hit the public, this situation won't just be messy. It'll be irreversible. Careers could shift. Reputations could collapse. And the narrative that all three of them have spent years building, it could fall apart overnight. So now, everything hangs in this strange space between rumor and reality, where nobody has confirmed enough, but nobody has denied enough either. And that's what keeps people watching, waiting, because deep down, everyone feels it. This story isn't over, not even close. And when the next piece drops, it might not just shock people, it might change everything. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. If what's being alleged is even remotely true, then this was never just about love. This was about control, image, and a decision that can't be undone. Because behind every forced smile, every over-the-top post, every carefully crafted public moment, there's a question that refuses to go away. What really happened when the cameras were off? People can argue, deny, deflect all they want, but silence like this doesn't just happen for no reason. It builds when the truth is too heavy to confront publicly. And right now, that silence is louder than any statement that could ever be released. Fans aren't just watching anymore. They're dissecting everything. Every move feels calculated. Every interaction feels staged. And the more this story drags on without clear answers, the more it starts to look like something is being hidden. Because if there was nothing to hide, this would have been shut down already. Instead, the tension keeps growing. The rumors keep spreading. And the story keeps getting darker. Now the pressure is at a breaking point. Either everything comes out, or this narrative takes on a life of its own and destroys everything in its path. Reputations, relationships, careers, nothing survives a scandal like this untouched. So the real question is no longer what happened. It's who's going to break first. Because in situations like this, the truth doesn't stay buried forever. It leaks. And when it does, it doesn't just expose. It explodes.